So yeah, I wanted to dedicate this episode to some people that have fallen from the disease of addiction. You want to look in the camera and give a couple names you'd like to put out there, man?
Yeah. I lost a few family members to this. I lost, my Uncle Bobby. And then, Justin Starr, my first roommate when I moved out to Bronx County. He was my day one. When I first moved into a recovery house in Croydon, we were on job search together. We did everything, and I think it was like 2 days before Christmas. They found him in the Croydon train station in the heated box. And
it's crazy, man. And I'll just give a couple people, man. Rest in peace to Mike Bello. He just died not too long ago, maybe not even a year ago in this area. My man Don J. I used to call him Don Juan. And this dude I was sponsored for a little bit who, he decided picking up step work, he was going to pick up 2 bags of dope with fentanyl in them, and he ain't make it. So rest in peace to all those people. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TruthAddiction, the channel that deals with the disease of addiction and all the ways it manifests itself. I am a recovering addict, and my name is Brian. I suffer from a disease which is incurable, progressive, and sometimes fatal. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is then possible. I'm sitting here with my man Jason. What's going on, Jay? What's going on, man? How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right? All right, man. So here's the deal, man. I got some fucking questions, and we're gonna go in, man. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so first of all, you want to introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been clean, man?
My name's Jason, and I'm a recovering addict. I just went over over 7 months, 10/22. It was the last time I used or drank any mood or mind altering substance since then. And since then, my life has changed very drastically.
Congratulations, my man. Seriously. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, let's start by telling us a little bit about your early childhood. Where were you born? Where were you raised? And how was that like as a youngster, man?
Born and raised in the Bronx, New York. Little neighborhood called Pelham Parkway. Belmont section, central Bronx. If you throw a dart at the dartboard, I grew up 100 feet from the Bronx. So, it was a Bronx neighborhood, bro. Everybody drank on the corner, Heineken, smoked weed.
No, hold on. We're talking about early childhood. So, like, what's your home life?
Everybody drank on the corner, smoked weed.
What's your home life like? You got mother, father?
I have a mom. I have a biological father. We're not really in the best of terms. He's sober. He's still alive. He's sober. I wouldn't say he's in recovery.
Okay. Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have two brothers, and they're my half brothers. So they're older than me, and their father married my mother when they were kids.
Okay.
My mom and my stepfather had my 2 older brothers. Then they got divorced. My mother went with my biological father, and they broke up. And then my mom and my stepdad got remarried like 15 years later.
So, was there any drugs in the house? Was the drug prevalent?
Drugs,
mother
alcohol,
and father?
Yeah, both. Well, my mom was more of a drinker. I remember my first taste of vodka was my mom's water when I was like 3.5 years old.
Your mom's water? What do you mean, like a water bottle?
Nah, she used to always have the glass. She had the little rocks glass, and that was her water. And it sat right on the table.
Her water.
Yeah.
What high school did you go to? Did you graduate?
I went to the Bronx High School of Science and Arts.
How'd you do? Did you graduate? You were a good student and shit, man?
I was I'm actually a very good student.
Are you? Really? I sucked at school, dude.
Nah, I'm very good at school. I went to one of the most elite high schools in the country.
Yeah? Did you do any college or anything?
Yeah.
Did you?
So I got more degrees than a Mason, my dog.
That's crazy, man. I don't know how, but I sucked at school.
I have 3 associate's degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, and 3 master's degrees.
Nice. I like that. So, what were your teenage years like, man? Did you have like hobbies or anything, or
skateboarding?
Skateboarding?
My first addiction.
Yeah. Were you good at it?
Yeah, I mean, I can still land impossibles and
Get
kickflips.
the fuck out of here. You ain't still doing it.
48
Stop playing.
years old. I will pop an ollie right out front of the house, dog.
Pop a motherfucking disc in your back is what you
Nope.
pop. So did you play any sports or anything like that?
Yeah, I played baseball. I played basketball. I mean, we played all sports as kids. Like, you know, remember that Nike commercial where they like moved the hockey net? Car.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I lived that too, man.
That was the life we lived, but it was on a one-way Bronx street. You know? And we played a lot of two-hand touch football, stickball, wiffle ball.
So your old neighborhood, because I've known people that have been from there, it's similar to my old neighborhood in South Philly. There's very similar things.
Yeah.
And I remember living that life.
Yeah.
The hockey net and all that shit,
didn't play
man. It was
much
a
hockey.
big deal. What was it then? What were we talking?
We played football and basketball. We played wiffle ball a lot. We played stickball. Skellsy. I don't know if you remember that game. Or you played that. It was a New York City game. So
I played a lot of halfies.
Nah, there was a thing called Skellsy. You would take the cap and you would fill it with crayon wax, and you made a board in the middle of the street, and you would shoot the cap.
Nah, I never.
And you had to go around the different boxes, and you had to, like, there was like a home box in the middle and all these numbers.
I remember a similar game, but it wasn't that.
We called it
can't
Skellsy.
remember.
We played a lot of like manhunt. You gotta remember, I grew up.
Manhunt. We called that jailbreak.
Well, we had manhunt, we had Ringalivio. So manhunt was when it was one person. Ringalivio was when it was teams.
Okay. Yeah. We played a lot of jailbreak, which
You gotta remember,
same
if you take South Philly, right, and you take all the row homes and smash them together, and stand it up on its side, and then smash those together. That's how I grew up.
That's
like,
good. Yeah.
The building I grew up in, 2164 Barnes Avenue. The building I grew up in there's 10 apartments on the first floor, 6-story building, 11 apartments on every building above that.
Okay.
There's 2 buildings in my courtyard. There was 6 courtyards on my side of the street alone.
What's it? Just like all projects, like?
It wasn't projects. All tenements, 6-story tenements.
Okay.
There was projects in our neighborhood, but that wasn't the projects. It was just tenements. Like, every building is 6 stories, a few thousand apartments.
I've only been to like Times Square. Like,
it's the hardest.
I went to Times Square for this fucking American Idol tryout before and shit.
Have you ever seen a Bronx Tale? The movie Bronx Tale?
Yeah, I've seen that.
The movie is about the neighborhood I grew up in, the area I grew up in.
Yeah, I just meant like I'd never seen it in person. So, tell me, when did you start using drugs? What age do you think?
9, 10, so smoking weed.
9, 10, so young, dude. I was a late bloomer, 16. A lot of people I interviewed, so fucking young, but...
It was accepted.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like that was a peer pressure thing? Your first use?
It wasn't a peer pressure thing, but I did want to be cool.
So it was. Kinda. See,
so nobody said to me, "Here, man, take this."
I get it. So it's not peer pressure, like as in do this or I'm gonna fuck you up. But I think it was peer pressure for me because it was kind of like I wanted to join in. I knew it was fucked up, and I knew I shouldn't be doing it, but I wanted to do it because it was what the boys on the corner were doing.
Absolutely.
See, to me, that's peer pressure.
Yeah, it was.
Because if they were boys on the corner with a fucking a mathematical textbook in their hand talking about this is cool, I probably would have did math.
See, but here's the thing. Where I grew up, there was nobody on the corner with a textbook.
Well,
but I was very into school. I didn't do things. Yeah. I did things because I thought they were cool.
Okay.
So you got to remember, I'm 48, so I was born in 75. I was an 80s kid, bro.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. I was a teenager.
We were born the same year.
Right. Yeah. So when I skateboarded, it was like Tony Hawk and Lance Mountain.
Yeah.
And skateboarding was a West Coast thing, and it was skate or die, man.
Right.
It wasn't very urbanized like it is today.
Right.
So but I thought it was cool. Nobody else really in my neighborhood skateboarded. A few of my friends did, but it wasn't the whole neighborhood skateboarded.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought comic books were cool. Not everybody in my neighborhood thought they were cool.
Right.
I thought smoking weed was cool, so I went and I smoked weed.
All right. So for me, it was a peer pressure thing.
It was peer pressure. Was more. I say attraction.
Yeah. It was attraction. It was attraction and promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you remember how that made you feel? That first time you got that shit in you, and you was explain that feeling real fast, man.
All right. So, I could tell you the first time I smoked weed. I remember exactly. My boy Josh, sick of pseudo slang. He's a musician. He's a rapper. He had a house. His mom lived on Mulliner Avenue. He lived in the basement of the house. And the private houses in my neighborhood were kind of like the row homes in Philly.
Right.
So there was like one area was buildings, then there was one area was private houses.
Okay.
He lived in one of those private houses.
Same shit, yeah.
Yeah, he lived in one of those private houses, right? So he lived in the basement. We were downstairs and we went out back behind the house, blazed up the joint real quick. Yeah. And we went back in his house. I think we were like 11, bro, 12 years old. No, I was like 10. It was right around 10 or 11. And I remember his mom coming down. And his mom, there's like 7 of us, and we're all laughing our asses off. We're all stoned in his basement. We're playing fucking Tecmo Bowl on Nintendo.
Tecmo Bowl was the shit. And, that was the shit, man.
And she was like, you know, Joshua. She had a high-pitched voice, his mom. She was a sweet lady. Miss Brown was such a sweet woman. And he's like, you know how you get embarrassed by your mother? He's like, Mom, get out of here. Yeah. She's like, I just wanted to know if you guys wanted milk and cookies. And he's like, Mom, go away, you're embarrassing. Oh, and my boy Speedy's like, bro, get the fucking cookies, bro. Get the cookies.
Hit the fucking milk and the cookies. I actually smoked my first joint with my mom.
Okay.
Which is a little wild, but whatever. So looking back at it now, right? Been around a little bit. You've been in recovery.
7 years.
Right. You've gone over steps here and there, right? And so looking back at it now, like, do you see any signs of the disease of addiction before you started using?
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding
was my first drug, bro. It was my first addiction. Like,
you did skateboarding until it made you unmanageable and shit?
Bro, all I did was skate.
Yeah.
All I did was skate. I didn't give a fuck how hard I hurt myself. I broke bones, broke fingers, twisted ankles, came home bloody and scraped up every day.
Right.
But all I wanted was that feeling of rolling away.
Yeah, I feel you. So what about emotional type of shit or the way your behaviors and shit like that? Like, I'll give you an example from me. One of mine was wearing, and the people out there that watch this know, one of my big ones was wearing the mask. Like, what mask do I need to put on for this group of people? What mask for this group of people? You got anything like that you seen?
I was down with every group in high school.
Okay.
I was cool. Like, I mean, to this day I still am, but it's not. I had different masks, but I've learned to realize that those masks are also part of my personality.
Okay. So, well, I mean, did you ever do it to where it was like detrimental? Like, you're putting people on pedestals that probably shouldn't have been on there. To where, you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of shit.
Yeah, that I absolutely
like, let me be who this fucking asshole wants me to be type of shit, to where it made you all, you know what I mean?
Absolutely, especially with the guys in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I say this all the time. Like, I grew up in a neighborhood and, you know, I acted like I'm tough. But I ain't a fucking tough guy. I got my ass kicked by 2 grams of rock for years. And, like, I think I'm tough. Like, I can't win a fight against a 40 ounce. Who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, like, you know, the guys on the corner, you know, the kids I grew up with, they went into that criminal shit. You know what I mean? And, like, I had more of a brain on me. I went to special schools my whole life for people that were, you know, for the kids. I went to a program for the exceptionally gifted when I was a young kid. And, I focused a lot of my energy on hanging out on the corner. I focused a lot of my energy on trying to be known in my neighborhood, you know, like, instead of being known as a nerd, which was what I was, you know, and I grew up during Revenge of the Nerds. And I went to this special program, right? So I didn't go to school with all the kids in my neighborhood.
Right.
So in our neighborhood, every block was like a different little crew.
Yeah. Right.
So the kids that lived in my building and lived on my block, they knew who I was, and they knew who I was as a kid. But I didn't. They only knew me from being out front playing, riding bikes, playing.
So you can go a couple blocks down, and they knew you as something different. Is that what you're
I'd
trying
go
to
down
say?
the block, they didn't even know who the fuck I was.
Oh, they didn't know who you were. Okay.
They had no idea who I was. And here's this, you know, 12-year-old kid now on a skateboard in the neighborhood. And who the fuck is this kid?
Right.
Because I'm going to this special school. You know, I went to PS 83. I was in the exceptionally gifted program from 2nd grade to 8th grade, and then from there I went to a specialized high school.
Okay.
I went to a high school where you got to take a test to get into. There's only, there's 3 schools in the city like that. You got Bronx Science, you got Stuyvesant, and you got Brooklyn Tech.
Okay.
And I went to this specialized high school, basically, like, for lack of a better word, and to say it humbly, for geniuses.
Right.
You know,
I grew up with a few kids like that, man.
I went to the same high school.
Started high school early and shit. I remember one kid started high school like 2 years early. It was crazy.
Well, they didn't
Ended
do
up
that
going
in this school, but when you went to this school, it was more like college.
Yeah.
You got to choose your coursework.
Right.
You got to have specialties in your coursework. You could not graduate from the Bronx High School of Science without a Regents diploma. There was no local diploma. Yeah. And if you couldn't hack the coursework, go to your own high school.
All right, I got that. Yeah.
And it wasn't something where you transferred in. You had to come in as a freshman, and that's it.
Right. So you've been clean 7 months.
Yeah.
Right. So take us back to that first use, right? And bring us up to this last time you got clean. And break down that progression of the use and your life as it's happening.
So here was the thing. I was a very functional person. Very good grades, graduated college. The whole time I was in college, I was in a fraternity. Shout out to Alpha Chi Rho, Rho Chi Phi chapter. AXP in the house. So I was in a fraternity, and we partied every night, bro. We drank like rock salt.
Yeah.
It was we. Few of us did some harder things, to keep us up at the ball. But we all went to class in the morning.
Right.
Now, everybody else, when I got out of college, I put that shit down. Like, I didn't put it down, but I got.
Is it just alcohol at that point?
It was alcohol, weed, and some coke.
Okay.
Coke on weekends. I would do, by fucking a gram on a Friday. You know what I mean?
All right.
When I got paid on Friday night. So that went on. I mean, I moved with a few of my fraternity bros after college, moved into an apartment in the Bronx. I was working as a chef in New York City and the surrounding areas. I'm trying to make a name for myself in the culinary world.
Yeah.
Which I did. I got some accolades, I got some accolades, some fairly really good reviews. And then my ex-wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she was my girlfriend all through college. She got pregnant. We had twins.
Yeah, you had twins?
Yeah, I have twin girls. I have twin girls and a boy.
All right.
And I don't speak to them now because of my addiction.
We'll get to that. Go ahead.
So what ended up happening was like, there was times they drank too much and I made a fool out of them. There was, weddings. There was family parties where I cursed a few people out, especially my biological father, because that was just fucking resentments that I had stuffed up in a bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And I drank too much, but I was what the book would say as a heavy drinker.
Oh, heavy drinker. Okay.
I was a heavy drinker. It was functional. I wasn't that hopeless. I wasn't where I got.
Right.
Then I had a motorcycle accident, and I got introduced to painkillers.
Like so many of us.
Right. And that is where shit went down.
Yeah.
Quickly.
What painkillers were they giving you?
They were giving me at one point, it sounds like mythical. I always
I don't know what the fuck. Dude, on the streets there's like heroin, fentanyl.
No, I was getting
there's Percocet, but in the hospital, like when there's some fucking drugs out there that motherfuckers don't even know about with all these weird ass names that are potent as fuck, dude.
It was a 24-hour release pill.
24
of hydromorphine.
Okay.
And Exalgo. That's why it sounds mythical.
And you were chewing them, obviously. You weren't.
And then they were giving me 6 Roxys, 6 30s.
24 hours, right? You was chewing them bitches?
Well, at first
you was okay.
At first it was users directed. And then I got dyslexic.
Yeah.
So instead of it being one pill every 4 hours, it was 4 pills every hour. You know what I mean? I started reading it backwards.
Yeah.
And then, and then like I said, I'm smart. Then I started the science experiments. Then I learned that the binding could be broken down in alcohol, and like I was off to the races. Like I would let a pill soak in vodka and then pound that, and I was out like a light. Like,
let me ask you. So, do you remember going to the doctor to keep getting the scripts, or was it easy? It was easy to get these motherfuckers.
So when I first started,
yeah,
it was easy. So when I first started, it was 2011. I had my accident. It was 2013 when the Father's Day massacre happened on Long Island.
Okay, I don't remember that, but okay.
It was a pharmacy, a small town pharmacy guy.
Okay.
There was 4 employees. It was Father's Day, and the guy was like a dedicated pharmacist to the area. So on every day of the year, the guy opened up. His family would be like, "Why don't you just close on that day?" But he would open for like 4 hours in the morning.
On Father's Day?
Whatever day holiday was.
Okay,
He would do it on Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Right.
Ooh, just because people needed to get their medication. So he was dedicated to his community. And some guy ran in there and just pulled out, murdered the 4 people that were working in the store, robbed 180,000 pills or something from the safe. And the jerk off was so fucked up on drugs that he left the fucking cameras.
So what did the doctor start to catch on?
So that's when they started the pain pill registry.
Oh, okay.
So that's when they started. Now, today, if you get a prescription for Percocet from one doctor,
they know, right?
That doctor puts it into a federal database.
Yeah.
Now you can go 4 states over, and the doctor looks it up. Nah, bro, you just got Percocet 5.
Yeah.
When I was going, I could go to 4 different doctors.
My mom used to do that shit with diet pills, like speckled eggs, all this weird shit. So
that's meth.
Yeah, basically. So, you know, a lot of these fucking drugs. You know, dude, I look at a lot of these fucking doctors today, man. And I'm not going to get into it, but they're legal drug dealing, bro.
Absolutely.
Some of these motherfuckers, dude. But anyway, so you come off of that. Where do you go next, drug wise? What's the next thing? Is it dope?
So now we went to getting 120 pills a month from the doctor. Now it's going to buy pills all over the streets. And I knew I had this 3-day window. So every time I went into the pain management doctor, because now I'm in this federal database.
Right.
So every time I go into the pain management doctor, I got pee in a cup. He would allow me, at that time New York wasn't legal, but if I had weed, he didn't care. He said it didn't matter if I came up hot for weed. He was all right with that. Anything else that wasn't prescribed or anything that, you know, was street legal, street illegal, was getting off the street, if I came up hot for that, I'd lose the scripts. So what I did was, I would, like, when I started getting low, I would go get, like, because I was getting Roxy, so I need to come off for oxycodone and hydromorphine.
Right.
So, like, this is how science, you know, the sciencey I get in it. So I know I had like a 4-day window, so I would keep that 4-day supply, but then I would go buy whatever I caught off the streets.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Then one day I was sick as a dog. I ran out of everything, and I remember calling up one guy that I would ask, that I would get pills off of, and I was like, "Yo, you got anything?" He's like, "Nah, bro. I got something else that'll get you right, though."
Yeah.
"Nah, I'm good, fuck you. Who the fuck are you offering me dope? You know who I am?" Like, blah, blah.
I would never. Why I never?
You gotta remember, I'm like 36 years old, 37 years old at this time. Like, you know what I mean? And throughout my life, heroin addicts were scumbags.
Right, you were
like,
scumbag.
that's how I was raised.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And
that's
then,
that's how society looks at us when we're on that. We're like second to murderers and fucking rapists.
Absolutely.
And shit, you know what I mean? We're down there, bro.
And,
but it's a disease. It's fucking rough, man.
Bro, and after calling up like 7 other pill dealers, everybody was out. And, you know, I'm sick as a dog now.
Yeah.
So I call this guy back, like, you know, I just cursed this dude out 5 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago, like, go fuck yourself, don't ever talk to me like that.
I would like to apologize to you, sir.
Bro, so, like, did I ever tell you I love you?
Yeah.
You know? And how does this work? And then...
Did you shoot it or snort it?
I snorted it. Like, to me,
I snorted it, too.
To me, needles were, I was that line that I never crossed yet.
You didn't, so you did eventually?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't do the needles. Yeah, my whole dope career was snorting it, you know? I didn't even know you could snort heroin. That's another thing. I always, when I pictured a heroin addict, it was with a needle. So I remember justifying it to myself, oh yeah, I'm on heroin, but I'm not shooting it. That guy's shooting it.
I'm not that
That
bad.
guy's trash, not me. You know what I mean?
Fuck that dude.
Yeah, fuck that dude. So, all right, so you pretty much fuck your whole shit up, right?
No way.
Got some relapses in there?
Yeah,
Here
so
and
I
there?
went from being this celebrated chef in New York City, and I started teaching culinary arts. So I started working in a culinary school.
Right.
And I went back to college. I got graduate degrees. I became the director of this culinary program.
Nice.
Now,
We're fucking actually pretty smart, wise people when we're fucking doing the right thing.
I say it all
When
the
we're
time.
doing the right thing, we're very talented. There's no fucking doubt about
I
it.
say it all the time, bro. Yo, when an addict gets sober and they get serious about money, watch out. That motherfucker's
It's
gonna
fucking
be rich.
crazy, man.
You know why?
No, tell
We're
me
the
why.
only person that could take 5 cents and turn it into a 20 bag by 8 a.m. Once we turn
That's
that,
fucking true.
once we turn that driving
Dude,
force towards
That's true.
fucking
You know how
getting
many
real
days
estate, it's
I
a
woke
wrap.
up sick as fuck, like no way on earth to get money today,
You're
and
fine.
end up with like $200 and fucking, it's crazy. But the shit that I had to do to get it
Right.
was demoralizing, and
Absolutely.
everything else that fucking comes along with it. So I want to take you up to. You try to get clean, you relapse a couple times, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
bunch of times.
So you get to this point, right? Take us back to your last use before this time, the day before your last use. What's going on in your life right then? What's up in your mind? Do you remember that day? The day
Yeah.
before your last use this time?
Yeah, I do.
Explain that a little bit.
So I had just come off of like a year-long run, a hardcore one. Like, I'm 6 foot tall. I didn't go to rehab this time. I went to a very good friend of mine, a girl I grew up with. She flew me out to her house in Colorado.
Okay.
And I stayed basically on her couch for a month. And I was coming off hardcore shit. And I did the California sober detox. You know what I mean?
What's
I
the
sat there with a bottle of rum and
okay.
sangria and fucking smoked some weed.
California.
You know what I mean? But at least I wasn't smoking crack and fetty, you know? Like, it's California
The
detox.
California
The
detox.
California sober. So
I never heard of that shit, but all right.
so I did that.
That doesn't work, obviously. Does it work? It works?
I mean, it got me off the hardcore shit.
Okay.
And then I came back to the East Coast. I came back to Philly. I stayed a month out there. Came back to the apartment that I was sharing with my ex. And I just came back to pack shit up and wrap shit up and like break the lease. I'm out of here. I got to get my things out of here. Like, this is over between us, right?
Okay.
So I move into a recovery house again. And I used to remember, like, I was working hard on my social media. I'm going to school. I'm going to work, you know, on a regular job. I'm doing the whole social media thing. And she just got overwhelming one night. And I hated the fact that I was back in a recovery house again.
Somebody
Yeah.
stealing my cornflakes again.
Who drank my milk that I
Who ate
just
my
got
hot
from?
dogs?
Who drank my milk that I just got from
Yeah.
the food bank? Like,
Because
what
we
the fuck?
deserve better.
Right.
We
You know what I
deserve
mean?
better.
Like, I actually think, shout out to Newfound Freedom, Pops, I love you. But I think fucking Pops literally had me. I literally have been in every one of Newfound Freedom's recovery houses and sober houses. And I think
That's
they have
a lot.
like 18.
Yeah, there's a lot, bro.
I've literally been in every one of their houses. Because Pops didn't give up on me. But this time, Pops said to me when I left, I moved out into an apartment. And he said to me, he goes, bro, like, you fuck up again, like, I can't take you back, man. He's like, it's at the point where it's going from loving you to fucking enabling you.
Enabling you, yeah.
He's like, I'm happy you're moving out. I'm happy you're getting your own apartment. But, you know, like, I'll always be here for you. But I can't take you back if you fuck up again, you know? Because I had moved out, got an apartment. I've been living out here 7 years. I've been in like 3 different, 4 different apartments already.
Right.
So I would get an apartment, I get my own freedom. I could have a fucking drink tonight.
Yeah.
And then I have the drink.
Yeah.
And I go to work the next day and everything's fine.
Of course.
And then Friday, I
Which
can
makes it
smoke a
worse.
little crack tonight.
Which makes it worse.
Right, exactly.
That makes it worse.
Right. Oh, I could smoke a little crack tonight, you know? Then it's a fucking garage sale. Everything must go.
Yeah. So do you enter? So do you actually enter a rehab, or you went to the girl's
So,
house and?
I went to Colorado. I came back. I was in a recovery house, and just the whole recovery has shit. My ego, my pride. You know, I had a bad breakup. And
Weren't working a program, obviously.
I was,
You were?
but I wasn't
And
working it. I wasn't working it 100%.
Well, of course, I'm saying you used.
Yeah.
In my view, you can't use if you're working. If you're in it,
Yeah, but
if you're in it 100, I don't think you can
There's
use.
been times it's just me. This is my own personal
Yeah.
thing. There's been times I get cases of the fuck each, and it's different.
We all do.
Yeah.
It's one of our inherited enemies.
Right. And I'm
Apathy, procrastinate. You know, the
very
fuck.
good at self-sabotaging.
Yeah. See, let me tell you something, bro. I've seen it so many fucking times. It's sickening. People don't touch on all points of their recovery, and they use.
Yeah.
And when they do, they don't use. It's just my experience. It's my opinion. It's my experience, and it's probably the experience of a lot of people that I know. Other people have different experiences. I mean, if you could sit here and tell me that you were doing all this, you were doing the sponsor, you're actively in the steps, you got the home group going on, your meeting attendance is good, you got that conscious contact, and you still used. That's fucking weird to me.
What I can tell you is I had all those things, but I also had my ego.
Okay.
So when the urges came up, I didn't disclose them.
Okay. I got what you're saying.
So I didn't talk about them. So
Right.
the thought process,
The whole secrets keep you sick thing.
I'm from a neighborhood of America.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
You know what I
man.
mean? That's been
Yeah.
one of the hardest things is to snitch on myself.
I
was raised
get
my
it.
whole life not to snitch. Keep
Yeah.
your fucking mouth shut.
right, so-
You know?
Let me ask you. So when we talk about the disease of addiction, when you hear that, what does that mean to you? What does somebody having the disease of addiction more? That's usually like out of the 10 people I probably interviewed, that's like 2 of their answers. More.
I have a disease of
It's
more.
just more. Yeah.
More.
Give me more.
But I mean, here's the one thing though, like, and I've touched on this on other things, like, I mean, and I just said it even earlier before. When you take an addict, and so I've learned that I can manifest this disease. I can harness it. I can fucking weaponize it for me. I just got to put it in the right area.
Right.
So like, social media.
Yeah.
I became obsessed with it. Obsessed with it. Yeah. You've heard me talk about the way shit works.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, you're pretty good. Yeah.
I know.
I hit you up for some tips and shit here. And
I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know how it works. I know, like, but that's because I studied it.
So
the same way that I learned to break down a pill in addiction.
Yeah.
And break it down like a science is the same way that I do.
So you
anything.
do view it as a disease, though.
Absolutely.
Do you think it's curable?
No, I don't think it's curable.
Neither do I.
I don't think it's curable. I think you can recover from it. I don't think there's a magic bullet on it.
No, me neither.
No, I know people.
There's an insanity to it. There's this thing where we just have in us that at some point we want to destroy.
Yeah.
We just want to destroy at some point. And we lose this thing where we lose the understanding that we are not treating it. And you know what I mean? And for me, you know, that's a 12-step program that treats it. And it's like, it needs to be treated on a daily basis. Because like for some reason, if I don't do that, like you said, the ego kicks in, this other weird shit kicks in, and next thing you know, I'm isolating and I'm fucking acting out in some other way because, well, it's not a drug. You know what I mean? And it leads me to that fucking dark place, man.
I agree.
You know what I mean, dude?
I know with me.
I think it could be arrested, not cured.
Right.
But it needs to be treated.
Listen, my biological father, he's 30-something years sober, right? 30-something years without a drink. And He in the beginning went to rehab. He did the AA thing. He did the 12-step programs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's cool, guy.
He did the 12-step programs thing. And then that was it. He literally, like 2 years, maybe. And then he just stopped.
Right. And I know a couple people like that too. But to me, they're not the norm. It's not the norm.
Thing. He's still an asshole.
Well, if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right, exactly.
You're just, you go from being an asshole drug user to just an asshole.
Right, exactly. Yeah. He went from a drinking asshole to a non-drinking asshole. Right. You know what I mean? But, he's... and that's the thing I think is... Here's what I think. And this is my own thing. My own personal thing.
Well, this is what we want. Your thing.
So... Everybody, I don't think anybody is inherently evil by nature. I don't think anybody's inherently good.
Right.
I don't think the universe is an inherently powerful, all fucking good being, and inherently powerful, all evil being. Right? I believe that everybody has these attributes and these traits, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. Right?
I think we all have it in us to kill. Depending on the fucking situation, I think we all could kill.
Absolutely.
You come and you walk into a house and see somebody raping your daughter or something. You got no problem with sticking a knife in their fucking neck. So I'm just saying, we all have that ability to kill.
And we all have that ability for good.
And so you look at it on its face and you go, killing is immoral. But then it's like, well, there's a lot of things. Right. There's a lot of things that we view as immoral, but in certain situations.
Mickey Knox said it best. It's only murder, man. All God's creatures do it.
So I like to ask people this because I have been doing a lot of research on this shit, right? I'm in the CDC website all the time.
Yeah.
We're dying, bro, at like a high rate of motherfuckers.
Freddy's crazy.
It's about 120,000 this year from 95,000 last year. Yeah. It's sick death.
It went from like 40 to like 80.
Dude, it's jumping like crazy.
But in 2020, when COVID happened, it doubled.
Dude, during COVID, when they gave out those checks, I knew a whole fucking recovery house that they got their checks. The whole house went out. The whole house went out and got high. Yeah. But plus there was no meetings going on. Bro, everything was shut down.
When COVID happened, I moved out of a recovery house. I saved the fucking COVID money. I was like a month's worth of it. I moved into an apartment on the river in Bristol. And the government paid my drug dealers' kids' college tuitions for the next fucking 6 months. Bro.
Yo, I need a PPP loan for this dope, baby.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
Dude, people got paid. Drug users got paid. They got paid, man.
One of the things here's what I believe. Nobody's really inherently evil. Nobody's really inherently good. But, right, here's the thing when it comes to recovery, and it's my own personal thing, right? I just start getting high.
Yeah.
You said peer pressure, right?
Right.
It's a cool thing to do, right?
Yeah.
So now we get sober, we get into these programs, and we get into society. We get into these. I don't want to say get into everyday society because we get into this fringe group of society where you got a bunch of immoral, fucked up motherfuckers with a twisted sense of humor, but have a very good ethical compass.
Right.
Now all of a sudden people are like, yo, you helped out at the homeless shelter. Good job. Yeah. And that in itself becomes an addiction.
Oh yeah.
That accolades, that help is high.
We don't look at it as an addiction, but it is. You can become addicted to that. Yeah. You can literally become high on helping people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true, man. So listen, I want to wrap this up before I do. How's life today, man?
Cool.
Tell us about your life, man. What's going on, man?
I have a wonderful relationship with an amazing woman. We have great plans. She retires from her job. Philadelphia police detective.
Okay.
So, the outlaw and the cop is pretty funny. I got off the streets of Kensington, for a detective that works in Kensington.
Nice.
But she retires in 2 years, and I have a fairly large social media platform. And
You're good at it, man. I told you over the phone when I was talking before. You're a very entertaining person. I think you're gonna do very well. I know you're doing well already, but I think you're gonna really blow up, man.
I'm trying.
I really do.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the success in the world, man.
I'm trying to so like our goal, like, and today, like, I don't fight, like, I don't argue with like, if I'm a dick, if I'm a fucking idiot, because I could be a fucking idiot.
Yeah, we all can.
I go, you know what, babe, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do better, and I try to do better. Sometimes I fall short, but if she's being an irrational asshole, I just walk away.
Yeah.
I'll come talk to you in an hour when you calm down.
Yeah. Women hate that.
No, because she's good with it, because she knows she's crazy too. Like,
the fastest way to piss your chick off, dude, is when you just shut the fuck up, man. I don't know. I've learned. It's like you got. I don't know what that is.
Bro, my social media.
I think what it is women look at things on an emotional level. We look at it like logically. It's either logical or illogical.
But by her job,
okay.
She's She's
a
detective, so she thinks very logically.
Right, I got you.
And very facts oriented. So if I go to her, I'm gonna go walk the dog. Right. Or I'll be in the basement when you're ready. You know what I mean? And and we have that discussion. But today we have that discussion.
All right, good. That's good. You could do.
You know what I mean? We have that discussion later when the emotions have subsided. We have that discussion that, hey, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. You made me feel this way, and we can actually address it where we work on trying to be a better person for the other person.
Right. So, but all these things are possible because you're clean today.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're aware of that.
It's shit. I'm not picking up a camera, if I'm picking up a crack pipe. Like, it's just, I'm not.
So I want you to do me a favor, man. If there's somebody struggling, look at that camera for me. If there's somebody struggling out there, man, maybe they're on the fence. They don't think that they could actually get clean. Maybe they tried a couple times. You know, life's fucking crashing in on them. Like, what would you say to that person, man?
You're worth it. Give this a shot. It's scary at first, like not being, the thought of never using or drinking again, the thought of, boredom, the thought of not being able to have fun anymore, like, all of that's not really true. It's just like your own made up fears in your head, and, there's a better way. There's a better way. There's people every day that I know and I speak with and I meet that they have this wonderful life, and, sometimes some people's lives, wonderful means, wealthy and driving a BMW. Sometimes people having a wonderful life means that they're handing out food to the homeless.
Right.
And it's all about, this. It's all about, like, whatever makes you happy. You have the freedom of choice to actually choose what makes you happy and, the pursuit of happiness.
All right, now I would just add to that. Listen, you're thinking about getting clean. Don't wait till tomorrow, man. I've seen too many people wait on tomorrow and it never fucking came, man. So anyway, listen, man, we're going to end this. I got this stupid thing I do at the end of every interview. I call it the Fast Ass 5. I just ask 5 stupid random questions and you just answer them. You ready? Are you going summer or winter?
Summer.
Going summer. Vegetables or candy?
Vegetables.
I knew you were going vegetables. This guy's always trying to cook healthy and shit. Horror movie or comedy?
Comedy.
Yeah, I'm going comedy. So you're at the barbecue, man. You going all beef hot dog or hamburger?
Burger.
Damn, I can't get a hot dog for shit. I'm going all beef hot dog, man. Nobody I've interviewed so far wants a hot dog.
It depends, though. If it's just some
It's an all beef hot dog.
But if it's just some breads, yeah. If it's some Costco bullshit, no.
Nah, this is an all beef, delicious.
Like, if it's just some bread or these, I'm gonna have one of each.
I need to start, when I ask that question, I gotta start adding like more adjectives. All beef, delicious.
You gotta use like a brand name, bro.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, man. I don't want to mention the place where I work, but the place I work's got banging ass hot dogs. We'll just leave it at that. So the last question, man. Would you rather be brutally honest or lie when you have to?
Brutally honest.
All right, man. Listen, man, that's going to do it, man. I appreciate you doing this, man.
I
appreciate you guys for watching. Do me a favor, man. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, man. And listen, the disease of addiction is broad and outside of the realm of just using drugs. Keep coming back. More will be revealed. All right, man. That's
Stay
it.
fucking savage.
You said